Greetings, brothers and sisters. This is your brother, Nasik Emmanuel Shahid Watson bin Avraham. And I come to you today bringing greetings. And first, allow me to greet those in our listening audience and people of faith. I greet those that are part of Christendom and praise the Lord. Those that follow Al-Islam, I greet you in Assalamu Alaikum. And those that are part of the Yehudim, the Hebrew community or Jewish community, I greet you in Shalom Alaikum. And to my nationalist community, brothers and sisters, I greet you in Hotep. And to those that are just part of the human family, I greet you in peace and blessings to each and every one of you. Today, I wanted to come before you in just a brief moment to share with you what some have asked. What is the voices of organic black men? And why do you call yourselves organic black men? Because we represent voices that come out of the direct root and pain that we see exist in our communities today. We come up out of the pain and the dirt and the suffering that many in our communities are going through and have been going through. Let's be clear about this. The black community is not monolithic. We all don't think alike. That's why we also say, being that we all don't think alike, we also understand that all skin folk ain't kinfolk. I'll repeat that again. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. And so we not monolithic. And so we want to make certain that you understand what we represent as the voices of organic black men. And we have an agenda. Please go to our website at www.thevoicesoforganicblackmen.com. You can read our mission statement. You can read our agenda. We have a 180-page agenda. You can read it. And then you can also review a section that we call the Black Code. Because it's time for us in the black community to reestablish a black code that will keep us committed to the agenda and the needs of our community, just like everybody else's attend to their community needs. We have to attend to ours. Now, like I say, we are not monolithic, so we all don't think alike. So therefore, some may disagree and some may agree. But we need to have an understanding that we can agree to disagree. But let me say this to you also, is that we are done with others acting as if they speak for us. These gatekeepers, these misleaders, they don't speak for us. They do not speak for us. And what we see today, many people who depend on the votes that come from our community, we witnessing them fighting for everybody else's needs but ours. Why our needs are not at your top priority? Every time it's election, you come to us and you run this spooky man theory. You understand? You run this spooky man theory and y'all overusing this racism on everything but on the areas where it's really need and really can be productive in terms of addressing the injustice that be going on. What I'm saying to you today is that enough of these games, these politics, that's what we call them, these politics. Oh no, we're not here to join the Republican Party or the Democratic Party. Oh no, that's not what we're about. Them days is over. Malcolm said it in 1963, but it took a long time for it to really resonate with the people on a massive level. Dr. King said something in 1968. According to Harry Belafonte, that he said, I fear that I have led my people into a burning house. Yes. Oh, he was right about that. But something else that he was talking about then also, he shifted his agenda. Because he said this time when we go to Washington, we come into Washington to get our check. That's right. So therefore, it doesn't make sense for us to keep voting and don't attach economics to our vote. You understand what I'm saying? So we are attaching economics to our vote. Economics is at the forefront of our agenda. Now, we got some household chores to take care of. Because black people, we spend $1.6 trillion a year on stuff. What do we own? on stuff. We are saying now in this digital world, in this crypto world, in the advancements of the financial instruments, we have to now move to building wealth. We have to build wealth not only for ourselves and our children, our family, but we have to build it for our community. So there's nothing wrong with us talking about self-empowerment. See, this is why we say we are organic, because we come in with a whole new deal, brothers and sisters. A whole new deal has to be established for us. Now, when I want to say this to you. We ain't care. We're not getting caught up in this Republican, Democratic stuff anymore. Of course, America's a two-party system. But we have to learn now to balance our power for our advancement. Do you understand? Like everybody else. See, they balance their power so that no matter who's in power, they at the table. So no matter who's in power, their community is benefiting. See, so therefore we can no longer throw all of our eggs in one basket, as they say. Huh? So I'm saying to you that we are balancing our power. And what I'm saying to you is that we are looking not to join any of these political parties. We are looking to build alliances with individuals that may come from either party that is willing to really create an alliance with us. Now, what do I mean for that? I mean by that, so you be very clear what I'm talking about. We're not talking about these optics and these one-line words that they throw. They come around us and they want to have photo ops. They come around us and they want to act like they care about us. They want to act like they're going to do something for us. And then they want to play, well, you got to wait till I get off. Now, there's things that can be done now on the front end and on the back end. And so, therefore, we're talking about a permanent seat for the organic voices at the table so that our concerns and our issues will be addressed. So don't think because you can throw somebody that got our skin and think they are kinfolk, because they're not. But you're not monolithic. And we're sick and tired of these gatekeepers or these sellouts or these misleaders acting as if they represent us. And the only time they come to act like they represent us is when they're in a political battle that they're trying to cut a new deal for themselves and for their circle. Well, I'm going to tell you something like this here. We ain't going for it no more. And that's why they can't push the needle. They cannot push the needle any further because the black man and the organic voices are sick and tired of this foolishness. So like Fannie Lou Hamer said, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired when she came to the Democratic Convention in Atlantic City, New Jersey. So why was she saying she's sick and tired of being sick and tired? Because we sick and tired of this foolishness and these games that so they come, and one thing about us that are organic, we can smell crap when it's walking. We can look at you. You ain't got to open up your mouth. And we can tell if you're full of it. I'm just talking real talk. I'm keeping it 100. I'm your humble servant. I'm keeping it 100. And I'm saying to you is that, because these politicians today, man, lie. They just lie. They just lie. They promise, and don't never deliver. Don't never do anything. So therefore, we don't need no in-between between us and whomever. We intend to write policy. We intend to write legislation. We intend to activate the principles of our agenda and 10-point plan and other things for the betterment of our community. You understand? And we intend to attach economics to our vote. Because without economics, what are you voting for? Everybody is voting for an economic agenda. That's American politics. American politics is big business. It's not what you think it is. Why do you think lobbyists pay all this kind of money to campaigns? Huh? So you're not gonna play this game on us no more. And you're not gonna mislead, you're not gonna act as if you speaking for us to build your own pockets up. And then when you give us nothing but crumbs. No, those days is over, partner. Those days is over. And what I'm saying to you is across this country, and even in New Jersey, to where we actively about to do some very amazing and powerful things, because we're going to let our voice be heard. But we're going to let our voices not only be heard, but it's going to be heard in a way that has never happened before. See, this is historic what I'm telling you today. This has never happened in America today, where the organic voices are taking the lead and pushing the gatekeepers aside. You understand what I'm saying? We're pushing the gatekeepers aside, these misleaders aside, because they have lost their way. They have lost their way. They do not speak for us. They do not fight for us. So therefore, we going to speak for ourselves, and we're going to fight for ourselves. And we're going to stand up for ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? So therefore, I want to give this to you as simple as possible, because I don't want to be complicated or manipulated as if you didn't hear what I said. Okay? It is time for us. We are not monolithic, and we represent a body of people across this country that at least, you know, it's 60-something million black people in America, right? We know we represent 18 to 20 million of them. We know that our voices represent 18 to 20 million. And we have the capacity, even in the governor's race in New Jersey, to move, if properly executed, to move 170 to 250,000 votes. Now you hear me clearly. I know what I'm talking about. I'm very clear because I understand measurements. I understand outcomes. I understand how things need to happen. And we got a body of men who are intellectually sound, grounded as organic. You understand what I'm saying? So therefore, we don't watch the game long enough, and we're fed up with this game. And we're fed up with this foolishness. And it's time that we move forward. And it's time that we move in an organic way to represent ourselves and to put ourselves at the table to no matter who's in power. And that is our agenda. And that is our focus. So I say to you now, and I want to say, you know, there's a wonderful brother in Chicago, Amos Muhammad, who's organizing the 30th anniversary of the Million Man March. That's right. It's going to be 30th anniversary this October. It's going to be 30th anniversary, and a lot of us are heading to Chicago to participate and Brother Enoch Muhammad is a part of Hip Hop Detox. And the brother is a very powerful young brother. He's a very powerful, he's a very intellectual, he's a very spiritual brother, and what so make him so beautiful, he feared God. So we are brothers who fear God in all of our ways and all of our doings. So we coming to you with a true dean of truth. So that we can begin to mobilize and do something for ourselves. And I'm gonna say this to you: don't even try. The moment you try to couple us with minorities, you in trouble. You in trouble, because that has failed our community. Data and history prove every time black organizations join other groups as a minority group, we end up at the bottom of the totem pole. We end up at the bottom of the totem pole. We ain't going at the bottom no more. Malcolm said it in 1963. He said in 1963, they come to deal with us last. No, you're not going to deal with us last. And I'm going to say this to you. We unapologetic. You know, I belong to the Yehudim community, Hebrew, or the Jewish community. Jews take care of Jewish community. When they come to politicians don't tell them they got to go into a minority group. When Asians come, you don't tell them they got to go into a minority group. When others come, you don't tell them they got to go into a minority group. So why are you going to try to put us in a minority group? Because you don't want us to advance. See, those are code words for failure for us. So what we're saying is that we want to be respected for who we are as organic voices of our community. And we want to have our permanent seat at the table and not be dictated or controlled by other individuals. We control our destiny. We are grown men. We are fathers, grandfathers. We of all ages, young and elder. I ain't saying old, because old ain't nothing but a number. That's for real talk. But I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about we have the apparatus and the ability to do something very historic in this country that has never been done before. And you know what's going to be at the end of the day? We'll see some real work done. We'll see some real resources delivered to our people who are in need and no longer going to the greedy. We're sick of the greedy taking everything. We're sick of these misleaders. We're sick of these gatekeepers taking care of their family, taking care of their friends, taking care of those who are associated with them. And then when those of us come who are in need, they don't have anything for us. Those days are over. sick of this nonsense. And it's time for us to mobilize like never before, brothers and sisters. So excuse my if I'm shouting at you, but the fire in me is burning deep. As the prophet Jeremiah said, it's shut up in my bones. And I'm kind of contain it just to relate to you in this conversation. But it's a new day for us. And we control our destiny. And that is why when you hear from me in the future, we will mobilize like never before. We will organize like never before. And we will have the right investment and the right resources to do something and to do something for ourselves. We're not begging anybody for anything. Oh, let's understand this. We ain't coming for no handout. We ain't begging for nothing. Taxation without representation is dead. We coming for our fair share. We coming for our fair share. We want our fair share on economics. We want our fair share on contracts. We want our fair share on resources. We want to sit at a table that represent us. So I say to you, don't just put some skin folk in front of us, because like I said, all skin folk ain't kin folk. We looking for kin folk to be at the table. And that's a whole different thing. That's a whole different viewpoint, a whole different consciousness and intellect. So our dean will be on those premises. So I leave you now as I came before you, as your brother. Oh, yeah. You know, I want to share this. I got some information for the most recent release files on Dr. King. And Dr. King had a plan before they killed him. It was an economic plan. Oh, he changed his agenda. But they don't want you to know about that agenda. They just want you to say, we shall overcome. They want you to be all weak. You know, I have a dream. That dream will turn to a nightmare. Dr. King saw it then. That's why he said what he said to Harry Belafonte. I think I've led my people into a burning house. Let's be real here. But Dr. King had another dream. He had a vision. And that vision, it may lead to his death. But that vision was an economic vision. Because he said this time we go to Washington, we going to Washington to get our check. But he also said something else. This is 1968. Just think about what the dollar was in 1968. Dr. King said he wanted the U.S. government for 10 years to designate strictly $30 to $40 billion a year for 10 years to address poverty in our communities. Now, that was a lot of money back then. But for 10 years, and they didn't do it. Oh, they didn't do it. And what do we have? Look at our people. Look at Selma. Look at Memphis. Some parts here in Atlanta, in New Jersey, some areas of Newark still look like the riots of the 60s. 68 riots. Watts. Look at Chicago, Detroit. So, you know, look at Lake City, Florida. See, we got some problems. But we've now time to wake up and do something for ourselves. And that's what this is all about. So brothers and sisters, you will hear from us. You will hear from your humble servant very soon. And it's time that we stand up and do something for ourselves. And it's time that this time that we attach economics to our vote and an economic agenda that's real and no longer falling for the optics that these politicians and these political operatives want to throw down on us and manipulate, and the spooky man theory. We've been dealing with that all our lives. We've been dealing with Jim Crow. We've been dealing with segregation. We've been dealing with Willie Lynch. We've been dealing with slavery. We've been dealing with, so much havoc. But you want to know something? We still standing by God's grace. That's right. We're still standing by his mercy and his beneficence, his compassion. And I say this to you. You know, we love ourselves, but we ain't got to hate nobody else, because the Creator said vengeance is mine. So we let him fight our battles. What we got to do is stand up and do something for ourselves, and now is the time for it to happen. This is a historical moment that have never happened in the history of this country, that we, the organic voices, will begin to have a seat at the table. Oh yes, a real seat. A seat of influence and power. A seat that will begin to activate real principles and laws and policies. So we understand this, and we coming. Oh, we coming. You're going to have to address our needs. We coming. We coming for sure. And we thank you because God is with us. And if God is with us, who can be against us? So I say to you now, as I said in my opening, I greet you in peace and love, and I pray that something that your humble servant shared during this brief discussion will carry us far beyond this dispensation in time. Peace and blessings. I am your brother. I am your humble servant, Nasik Emmanuel Shahid Watson bin Abraham. May the Creator be with us, and may He protect our every thought and our every step as we move forward. Thank you for listening, and may you be blessed. Shalom, shalom.